Can we come up with a top 5, gentlemen? Can we work on that?
It's funny because when I was in high school, started to rap at first, I was on my super pretty boy shit. I wasn't really on the street shit like that then. And then unfortunately, my father, he didn't raise me, he wasn't around like that, but he got murdered across the street from where I was living at. So, and when I saw that, I was across the street. That kind of took me in a whole nother direction. Then I got all the way lost outside. Like I didn't really care about nothing. So that changed the direction of how I was making music. Then it became more aggressive and I was more angry and I wasn't dealing with the emotion I was feeling because I didn't know what the f it was. What's crazy about how the brain works, to this day, I don't remember anything that happened that week. My only recollection of what happened that week is what people around me told me happened. Like my girlfriend at that time, my mom's, the things they told me happened. My brain to this day doesn't accept any of that shit. I don't know what happened that whole week. Like,
did that teach you something?
You know what it did too? That I probably never actually all the way healed from. You know, some wounds you don't actually heal from, you just get used to it. I was really detached from my feelings for a long time. Like it took me a long time to like understand what I'm feeling about certain or show care or show love with certain things. It took a long time, like, and I used to wonder to myself, like, wow, I don't feel anything. Like everybody in this room is happy, everybody in this room is sad. I feel like a void. Like I'm not attached to a particular feeling in moments when I should be.
Prior to going to London, I went to Africa. Prior to that, I went to DR. But I say that to say I never really went nowhere all my life because I've been on parole or either I was too young or whatever the case may be. Now I feel good just traveling the world, sucker free.
Man, that's how it should be. What goals did you have when you did travel the world? When you got there, what were the things that you were now thinking about that you weren't thinking about at home? Was it kind of different space for you to
I didn't really have no goals, but it just gave me like ideas to make better music because you hear different beats, different drums, and a different style of living, different way of life. Just even being in Africa and seeing people with no shoes on, just happy, enjoying themselves. It makes me come home and be like, what the hell I be complaining about, man? I'm lit, I came from nothing, and there's people that are happy with nothing. So it just made me appreciate life.
Fact or fiction? What is something that people may not know about you, or what is something that people may think about you that is actually not true?
Not only for me in general, but this does happen to me. I'm sure it happens to you as well, and several other people who are, you know, building their brain and getting in the light. Just people naturally assume that you're overly arrogant or you're not approachable, and that's due to, you know, the way we carry ourselves if we're around celebs or whatever they feel. So they use Instagram and they naturally think that, oh, this person's gonna be arrogant. Bro, I'm not even like that, bro. I'm humble. You know what I mean? I come from humble beginnings, man. Very appreciative, different things like that. When it comes to promoting your craft, if you're doing your thing and you're dope, you gotta say that. So that's not being arrogant or anything like that. But bro, I'm cool, man. Humble, approachable, and just grinding to get to the next level.
So basically you linkable.
Of course,
ready
bro.
to work, ready
Definitely,
to collaborate.
Definitely.
Do you have any children?
Yeah, I got twins.
You got twins.
I got a boy and a girl, word.
All right, so what, to round it off, just let me know what kind of codes that you're instilling into them.
One is to always be respectful. You know, I mean, the universe gives you what you put out. But two, to be a boss. You don't learn how to be a boss in school. And I teach my daughter, you don't need to pick the man you need. Like women are raised to go get married and find a man that can take care of them. No, you take care of yourself. Pick the man you want.
I mean, we grew up at times where we didn't really have our fathers, but I will say, man, you're doing exactly what you need to do. You know, sometimes we take L's in life. Talk to me about a loss that you done took that really changed the trajectory of where the career was going and what your dream and vision was.
That's a good question. I took a loss, I want to say back in 2011, I was working at BET. And around the time, like, they was changing management, and like even like our former management, we was having like creative differences, and I just wasn't with the direction they was going in. And one day I got called into the office. New manager was there. He was like, oh, you know, we're changing things up. We got to let you go, but we got a severance package. In the back of my head, I'm like, they just knew creatively like they couldn't go nowhere with me. So they wasn't trying to fire me, but I knew what it was. Like just corporate and how politics is, like that's what I knew what was going on. So my real loss was when I got let go, and like maybe like a month after, it was around my birthday, phone stopped ringing. You know, labels stopped calling, women stopped calling, you know, some of my friends dubbed off, like the relationships that I thought I built, you know, because I was at BET from 2008 to 2011.
Man, that's real.
I thought all those relationships would stay intact, but that's just me being so absent-minded and oblivious to what the industry really is. So I figured out, like, at that time, it's like, no one gives a fuck. Like, if you can't do for them, they're not gonna do for you. You know what I mean? But it's a grain of salt. You know, I took it on the chin like a man. You know, I went through my little depression stage, and I was just like, because I didn't understand how the game worked at that time. I was just so enamored with being, yo, I'm in the industry. I'm being flown out here. I get to cover events here. There's open bar here. There's women there. So I knew at that point, like, that was my first major loss. And I took my losses after that, but that's when I knew, like, no one gives a fuck about you.
That was like the first one after you had so many wins.
Yeah, I was winning.
God.
And then I got humbled. But it was a lesson that I learned, and I'm grateful, and I would go through it again today if I could.
Nah, I appreciate you for sharing that with us.
You know what I mean? So, but, you know, when you learn your lessons, you learn not to, when you learn what rock bottom feels like and what it smells like, you understand how to just, you know, get yourself out of that. So that was a great lesson, and I appreciate BET for teaching me that lesson.
Wise words from a true OG. Appreciate you for that one, man.
All day.
And that's a wrap. That's a wrap for today's episode of the CasBar. We'd like to thank our special guests for coming out. We hope you had a great time kicking it with us. Also hit us up on social. Let us know what questions you want to hear, what questions you want asked, and what conversations you want to be held. Until next time, Michael Wade.